Hello and welcome back to another Youngstown Click Be Connected podcast. Guys, I am so excited. As you see, this is a little bit different setup. I have multiple guests today, and each one of them are doing amazing things in the city. But, we've heard a lot about, some of the as the weather gets hotter and as there's, we go into the spring and the summer, or I guess the summer now. There's a lot of challenges our city faces, and each one of these people are at the heart of hands-on trying to make the city better, trying to affect the lives of the city. And I am super excited to introduce them to you today, and then find out how they're connected to some recent events in the city that have been happening. And we're just going to talk and kind of get their thoughts on some of the challenges that are in the city, but also some of the opportunity and some of the things that are going on. But before I let them introduce themselves to you, I want to thank our sponsors, OhioFlame.com, custom-made fire pits. I know it's hard to think about fire right now on hot days like this, but fall is coming, and those gatherings and those groups of friends, you want your fire pit to be the talk of the party. You could get them custom engraved. You could put your logo in there. They're steel made right in the heart of Columbiana. So check them out, OhioFlame.com. And then where we're recording at is called the Gallagher. It's where the old Cedars was. Did you guys ever come down to watch bands when they played here at the Cedars? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And we had the restaurant. Well, here's the big news, guys. As you probably know, they do have Airbnbs here, but the big news is a restaurant, the Varsity Club, is about to open here soon. They're kind of finishing up. It's looking amazing inside. They got incredible plans. There's going to be outdoor patio seating. There's going to be an outdoor bar. Bands coming in to play on the patio. Great food. So make sure you follow the Gallagher on Facebook and the Varsity Club of Youngstown on Facebook. So we just thank them for helping make this podcast possible. And let's get right. 23 North Hazel, by the way. Okay, let's get right into this. So starting with Len right across from me, why don't you introduce yourself and tell what organization or what you're kind of doing in the city. Just give us a little intro, and then we'll kind of get it right into the conversation.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Leonard Carter. I am the CEO of Youngstown Safe Zones.
Youngstown Safe Zones,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait to get into that and talk a little bit about what that is. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Carshara Bradley. Everybody knows me as Kiki. I work for United Returning Citizens, and I also have a nonprofit called Walking in My Truth, and I'm a youth mentor.
That's wonderful. So needed. So needed.
Yes.
That could make such a difference.
Yes.
It's just, but we'll get into that. Okay. Go ahead, DC.
My name is DC Henderson. I'm an organizer of the Save Our City movement of Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay, Save Our City.
Yes.
So as you could tell by the names, they're obviously very connected to Youngstown. Are you guys all born and bred in Youngstown?
Yes.
Okay, see, you gotta love, you've been through the struggle,
Yes.
You've been through the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but as we're about to go into this, I just want to take a second to honor a friend of yours and a man who has also done a lot for the youth and for the inner city of Youngstown. Go ahead and talk a little bit, just for a couple minutes, about your friend who started the RES, the shirt that you have on, RESPECT. It was a youth league. They do basketball at the YMCA.
It's actually more than basketball. That's one of the things that he basically do. We'll let Carshara tell it first, because she know more about the actual BFO and everything, where it started and
Let's
things.
just
and then
take a minute to talk about him and just honor who he was. I mean, he's not here with us, but he left a lasting legacy.
Yes.
And without talking about any of the ongoing investigation or anything, but just you guys had a chance to know this man.
Yes.
Right.
And his work was not in vain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously nobody's perfect, but the fact that people are trying to make the city better, use what they've been through, the experiences that they've had to actually make a positive difference, I will applaud that every single time.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your friend.
Well, he goes by Shimmy. His name is William Miller.
Okay. I didn't know that. I knew
Yes,
Shimmy. And his
everyone knows
birthday
his-
was in a couple days, right?
Yes. He was a Cancer. He loved his sign. I can honestly
I saw
say
that they had planned a big birthday bash.
Yeah,
for
and then he
him.
had a book signing. He wrote a book. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
so,
published? Is it out?
Yeah, so he was doing a book signing at his party, his birthday party coming up. So I hope that still the family takes care. They should, you
it
know,
is.
put his book out there. And I
Absolutely.
think it's on Amazon.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, keep an eye on that. If so if you haven't heard, Shimmy was found in his car over the weekend.
Yes.
Right? Over the weekend, just days before his birthday. And it's tragic. It's a tragic loss. Anytime we lose somebody good, somebody doing something good. And so his, what you could Google and find online is that he had been in trouble. He had been walking the wrong road. And after he, some experiences, he wanted to put something positive and give back.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And it
He
seems
wasn't
like
that, he,
there's
he was a kid, when he had made a mistake at 18 years old. And
Okay.
it cost him his life. He did 26 years in prison.
26 years.
26 years in prison. He thought he wasn't ever coming home.
Right.
And God gave him another chance. He came home after 26 years in 2019. I met him in 2021 when I started working with United Returning Citizens with Dion.
Okay.
And just his story alone, the power in his story. He was home almost 5 years, and the things that man came home to do, people haven't done in a lifetime.
Exactly.
Incredible.
It's he's literally the example of you can make everything out of your second chance if God gives it to you.
Wow.
He done everything. He said, like, everything.
So inspiring.
Yes.
And for those, sometimes in the heart of getting in trouble, you do feel like your life is over, or it's easy I know there's somebody I love who just seems like they're constantly getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on,
I used to be her.
So this is why you guys got to stay tuned, because we're about to get into stories. We're about to get into what they're doing now. But I love that. That's incredible. And just, taking a second to honor him. If any people who knew him or his family is watching, we just want to say thank you, like on his behalf, or I don't know, how would you say that? Thank you for, like, to him and whatever, because I know I didn't ever got a chance to meet him. I didn't know him, but I read about the youth league, getting kids off the street playing basketball and really teaching them principles that might not be, you're in school and you have to try out for the basketball team, understandably, and you should. But what if you're not really that good, but you still being able to play in a league like that, it gets you off the street. It teaches you principles of teamwork and stuff like that. And it's I really feel like a hands-on way of making a true difference. And I love that so much.
Right.
So is there anything else that you would like to say about him before we kind of step into a little bit about your stories and kind of like how the things that you guys do kind of collaborated with what he did, but what you guys are working on now?
We're really going to say that, for one, we're really going to miss him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely going to miss him, man. He was we were like family, brothers, sisters. We were family, man. So, and one thing that we definitely want to do, even with our own individual organizations, is make sure his legacy is carried on.
Absolutely.
Most
I
definitely.
love that.
So
Yes.
whether it's with the basketball, whether it's with his mentor programs, or anything that he have done that made a positive impact on the city, we want to make sure that we carry it on.
Yes.
Yes, because we worked hand in hand with the kids, going inside the schools and different things. And I just feel like it's my responsibility to keep it going, because I know his heart.
Yeah,
I knew the mission that he fought so hard for, and that was pouring into these young kids to give them a better chance at life. Things that we didn't have coming up.
Right.
Right. And it's really something too. Like, it's easy sometimes to brush off violence in a city or in a neighborhood or whatever, because you think, okay, well, it's it's troublemakers, troublemakers kind of getting what's coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but there is an element of being like, well, like shootouts and all this stuff, right? But more and more when you hear innocent people, or you hear people who are not troublemakers, they're not gang members, they're not people who are like detrimental to the neighborhood, they're actually doing something positive. That makes the punch to the gut even double.
Yeah.
Because now, again, as we're about to find out, there's redemption to those people who are troublemakers and instigators. And, and thankfully, because none of us would be here if not. Maybe different stories, but I definitely am not in it. I mean, I'm innocent from dealing drugs on the street, but I'm not innocent as far as like not causing trouble or not doing stupid things, of youth and that type of thing. So, all right, so let's get into a little bit about who you guys are.
Okay.
So we'll start with you this time, since we put you on the spot last time. So talk to us about what Save Our City does, what your heart is, and then maybe a little bit of, man, I want your stories too. But okay, tell us about your organization, then we'll start getting into stories, okay? All right, so.
I started my organization back in 2016. It was due to a friend of my son, or a friend of mine's son getting murdered on the east side of Youngstown, Ohio. And I said, I got to do something, because it's too many kids being murdered. So I did a tribute to him on Facebook. And then the aunt had reached out to me and was like, hey, the mom wants to speak to you. And I said, okay. So she asked me, she's like, can you come to his funeral and speak to the kids about senseless gun violence?
Wow.
I said, okay, I will. So I was kind of skeptic at first, walking in there. And then, of course, because you got the young men that was standing at the door like, oh, what is he going to be able to tell us? He don't look like he lived a day in the hood. Okay, cool. That's when I knew I had him. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I went up to the casket where the young man was laying at, and I started talking, and I spoke about my life. I spoke about everything I done been through. And when I was done speaking, I got so shaky, you know what I'm saying? I had to go outside and regain myself. 13 of those kids that was sitting there came up to me outside and was like, we didn't realize anybody still cared in Youngstown.
Wow. Oh my. Wow.
So that's when I went home that day and I started brainstorming. And I said, what can I do? And then I was brainstorming, naming names, putting it on paper. And I came up with Save Our, and I said, okay, Save Our City. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very important to me to where when you hear something like that, it like hurt. It like, you know what I'm saying? It does something different to your heart because kids feel like nobody cares. Nobody cares about them anymore. So they don't care because of that. And so when them same kids, still to this day, they call me Unc, they call me OG.
Aww.
They're always informed with me. They talk to me. Hey, Unc, I just had a baby. Unc, I just got a job. I'm like, that's what's up, man. I'm glad to see y'all doing, you know what I'm saying, what my mission and message was that day of that funeral.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel good because they didn't take it in vain. At first, they was just like, "Oh, well, he gonna better tell us he dressed too nice to had lived in the hood."
Right.
But when I told them the story, they was like, "Wow, he is one of us." Aww. I said, "Yeah, I am. I'm one of y'all." You know what I'm saying? And if I can do this, anybody can do it.
Wow.
Anybody.
Wow.
So,
man, and that's going to lead right into your story a little bit. How you are on this side of that.
Right.
Kiki, Tell us a little bit about what United Returning Citizens does.
Okay. Well, I was formerly incarcerated 10 years ago now. I did 2 years in Marysville, Ohio. And, that was the turnaround for me.
Really?
That was the wake-up call for me. I needed to figure out what it was that God needed me to do.
Wow.
And
How far into the incarceration did you start kind of like coming to different realizations?
I'll say about a year in, my first year in.
Okay.
Yeah, my first year in, I did a lot of soul searching and, digging deep and just finding, what it is that God was telling me while I was in that situation. I know the mistake that I made, but I had to figure out what was the lesson.
Okay.
Because I could have came home and just been back out in the streets, and that for me, being taken away from my son for those 2 years,
How old was he?
he was 8 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, he was 8 at the time.
That's such a,
Yeah.
I bet that was hard.
Yeah, so being a single mom already and, having to leave him for those 2 years, it really, really did something to me because I was left at 8 years old by my mom and my dad. I was raised by my grandmother, so I didn't have a mom or a dad. So, I grew up with bad abandonment issues, and I
Okay.
felt like the cycle was I had to break it.
Wow.
So I had to literally come home and turn all this pain into power. And I started really seeing what my calling was, how the woman in prison would interact with me. And it was one incident that I actually saved someone's life, and I didn't even realize of something that I said to her. And I had a note on my bed the next morning telling me that she was going to slit her wrist. But whatever I said to her, and God knows I don't know what I said to her to this day. I don't, but
Dude,
I
I'm
know.
over here about to start crying.
Yes,
Wow.
but I know, God used me at that moment, and whatever it was, it saved her.
Wow.
So I knew that I could, I always had connections with guys. It wasn't really a girl thing with me. So that right there showed me the power that I have, just my voice,
Wow.
and using that voice, So, I would start looking into motivational speaking and different things that I was just planning to come home and do. And URC was just getting off the ground
Okay.
when I came home. And my sister, she was in business. She had a clothing boutique in Boardman. And she was like, sis, you need to go meet this lady. Everything
yeah.
you talked about, she's doing. You know what I mean? And I also wanted to change the narrative of that don't define who I am and what my future holds for me, just because I made a mistake.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And growing up without a mom or a dad, you make the wrong choices with men. I've never had that real love from my father, so I bumped my head a lot with men. Right. And that caused me all the way up into my incarceration. So once I, was doing my time and started to love myself,
Yeah.
And knew that ain't the life that I want for my son.
Right. Right.
So that led me to meeting Miss Dion, and I didn't start working with her till about 6-7 years after I was home.
Okay.
But me and my sister had started a nonprofit in 2020 during COVID.
Yeah.
Called Walking in My Truth.
Okay.
Because that was my mission. I'm coming home to walk my truth. You know, I wanted to, my family and just everyone, because I lived that street life as a female, just trying to find my way.
Yeah.
Very angry because my mom and dad were gone and I didn't understand why.
Yeah.
So I rebelled a lot and I was, very, very angry.
Wow.
And
what side of town did you grow up on?
Southside.
Wow.
Yeah, Southside. Okay. So I when I tapped into that and, really understanding my mom and my dad and, things that they went through as when I became a mom, it's not easy. There's no blueprint on how to be a great parent,
right.
So, forgiving them, helped me,
Yes.
really open up and look at things in a different light. So my goal was I don't want to get too deep because we didn't start our stories yet. But
Man, I know. I'm like, ooh.
at the
I'm
age of
pulled in
16,
right now.
yeah, at the age
I'm
of
not
16,
this quiet a long time. Like,
age of 16, I tried to take my life.
wow.
And so I wanted to be that 24-hour around the clock person for these kids coming up because I didn't have that. So I wanted to be. A lot of things can be prevented if people have someone to talk to. Mm-hmm. So I made that, like, I know that my family always tell me, you take so much on. How do you do it?
Yeah.
But it's God. It has to be. You know what I mean? Because I will literally try to be there for everybody that I can, even if it's just the ear to listen. Wow. Mm-hmm. Because it's personal for me. Because I didn't have that. Right. I didn't have no one to go to talk to and to reach out to just give me advice. My grandmother she was a great lady. She installed everything she needed, but when you're missing something, you need more. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's what made me turn to the streets and thinking that was I was going to find it out there. Right.
Wow.
But I wouldn't change nothing. Nothing. The way my life has went, I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world. Because I wouldn't be here today. Right. Wow. I wouldn't know who I am as a woman and the power that I hold for the next young woman or the next young man. So I'm so forever grateful that God put me through all those tests and trials. And I was like, why me? Why are you doing this to me? But he knew I could handle it. He knew that I would really fulfill what he needs me to do. Even in this situation, losing Shimmy. Yeah. I had to sit with myself and ask myself, what is God trying to tell us first off? People don't understand, death just doesn't happen just to happen. It happens for a reason. Right. Yeah. And God is trying to, it's a lot of spiritual, it's like a spiritual warfare out here. Everybody is angry, the poverty level, it's just so much going on. And especially in our culture, we're really struggling, to just feed our families. So, a lot of this anger and these killings and different things, people have to get to the root of the problem, of what it is. And that was me and Shimmy's goal. We got to the root of the problem. What is the root? Whatever you're suffering from your childhood, it always trickles over into your adulthood. Yeah.
Wow, and that's why you guys are
making it okay. We created a safe space. Yeah.
And then, they say, okay, because you said that just having a conversation, knowing where to go, somebody who you could go talk to.
Yeah, that is so huge. The people don't understand that. Exactly. These kids, not even just the kids, adults too. Yeah. I have adults reach out to me, just to talk and, to see, how did I get this far or what did I do? You know what I mean? Wow. Just different tools and different things, because when you're growing up in an environment like Youngstown, Ohio, you have to be mentally strong. Yeah. Yeah. Mentally, to take yourself outside of what you're surrounded around. Right. Yeah. Because it's hard, it's hard. Not easy to get up every day, to be positive, to go pour into these kids or, just to touch lives. I'm a housing specialist at URC, so I help people that come out of prison or out of halfway houses. I try to find them different placements or housing and, that's a barrier. In the world, especially if you're a felon. Right. So, I take that personal because when I came home, it took me 3 years to find housing, to get back on my feet out there. So I just literally give myself, I'm getting choked up a little bit. I give my clients hope. Yeah. I'm like an open advocate. Book. Yes. And my story is my testimony. So it's there to help you, because everybody like, oh, did you share that? Or you? Yes, I did. I'm not ashamed of anything, because God brought me through. Not a soul out here can tell me anything that you used to do that or anything. Yes, I did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did, because I was a young girl just like you were at a point in time that we were finding our way, you know. And I'm still every day I pray, God, lead my steps.
Yeah.
Show me what it is that you need me to do.
Yeah.
Because the legacy that Shimmy left is a legacy that we all want to leave.
Yeah.
The impact that we want to leave. Like, this is blood, sweat, and tears personal for us.
I love it. And you know what? It's so powerful and so needed. Sometimes we look for big, grandiose solutions that with buku. And of course, when you wake up and the funds are low and you're trying to do something good and you're like, man, I'm barely making ends meet and keeping the lights on and I'm supposed to help a city. That's hard. So you guys do need funds, but sometimes we focus so much on these big, grandiose, well-funded plans, and really it's just taking time for the kids, being there to talk to them.
Yes.
And you guys are doing such a powerful thing, but yet, they're not huge organizations yet.
Right.
And so that's beautiful. I love, just sitting here, I could feel the power so far, even just listening to you two. I could feel the power of what this means. Like, I've gotten goosebumps a couple times now already. All right, so let's go to you, Len, and then we're going to circle back around and hear the actual stories, like how you guys are even sitting here right now is a miracle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Any of us, really, to be honest.
Absolutely.
All right, Len, go ahead and tell us about Safe Zones.
Basically, like I said, Safe Zones, I am the CEO of the organization. It actually basically started... me, DC, another one of my brothers, John, we were actually doing filming in his organization. We were doing filming, doing some movies, short films, commercials, and things like that. But we also, basically, let me bring it back a little bit more.
Okay.
I was also always the type of person that got involved in the community, like I said, coming up with myself, because I seen growing up people not having, my mom herself being a single mother, taking care of me and my brother, and my sister come along. She's still, single mother and things like that. Unfortunate with different things. So, you sit back and learn and do things like that. So I always said to myself, you know what, if I can always try to do something and help other people, that's what I would want to do. So I always was like that. So I got involved with like block parties, little simple block parties. We would get together on the corner and just grab a couple cases of hot dogs, grab some music, put it on the corner, call the kids around, give it to the kids for free. So one day we were doing that and we said, you know what, we need to get deeper in what we're doing. We need to come up with something. So we figured out, we just all got together. We all chipped in. We got book bags around school time. So we did our own little book bag giveaway. And we brought all the kids and we seen how they were carrying and this and that. We said, we got to take this a little deeper. So what should we do? We said, well, we should just keep this going. We should get an organization and, do what we do.
Yeah.
Get on this front line and continue to do. So we did that, and we going around, and actually we were playing around with the kids, and we're thinking like, yeah, that's just what we're going to do. The kids are loving us. We're, loving what we're doing. We got candy for them and everything. So as we're going around, like, look at all the love. Okay, we really got to stick with this. So we were thinking as we playing, what were we going to call ourselves? We need a name to really stick with it, to keep going and all of this and that. And I said, you know what? We consider ourselves to be safe people. We want the kids to feel safe. We want them to come here and everything with safety, anything. So we said, Safe Zones, and just ran with it. And we just ran with it. So then I became, 501, all that, and just started doing that. So we started doing more, giving out hot dogs, hamburgers, setting up on corners, just all ourselves.
Yeah.
Like you said, no money, no funding. It's just the heart and the care, because we know we didn't want people to come up and grow up like we came up. Some people, unfortunate, we learn through life, especially with our day camps and the meals, the breakfasts and stuff we give them. Sometimes that's the only thing them kids get.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's
So sometimes they're home all day, they don't get a meal and everything. So that's one thing that I mainly do. My grandmother always told me, and I always stuck with that in my heart. She said, never even see your enemy go hungry.
Oh,
So no matter what I do, anybody always tell you, they always say, man, are you really want to do this again? If we have a basketball tournament, I want some food. We need some food.
He brings the food. Yes.
If we just go out and we want to do,
Yes.
Is a love language.
Yes.
right, let's get Kiki to do some jump rope for the girl. We got to have some food.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we always
Yes.
always got to do that. So that's how it became and everything like that. So that's how we
and
built.
I love that so much. When I lived in New York City, this is so funny. I walked onto a subway and the whole half of the subway was like empty. And I was like, oh, this is unusual because normally at certain times, whether to expect, but this entire half of the subway was empty. So I'm like, okay, I just plopped myself down. And then it took like 10 seconds for me to realize why it was empty. Like everybody was scooted over to the other side of the subway because there was a stinky homeless man sitting there. I mean, and he stank like it was bad. But I had already sat down and I was like, I am not going to get up. Like if I had just walked on over there, it's one thing, but I'm not going to get up and move now.
Right. Yeah.
So I sat there. So it was just me and him. And the entire half of the subway was like looking over, like just watching, the rhythm of the subway. And so I strike up conversation with the guy. I find out he's from New Orleans, from the South. And he's like, basically talking a little bit about his experience and what brought him. So I said, well, because he missed, New Orleans. And I said, well, what brought you to New York City? Why did you come up here, from New Orleans? And he said, in the South, people will feed you, but they won't buy you a drink.
Right.
He said, I like to drink. he said, up here, people won't give you something to eat, but they'll buy you a drink. And I thought, what? Like that juxtaposition hit me, like here from a homeless man who was living it. He was like, literally, people won't take the time to say, here, let me buy you some lunch, but they'll say, here, or here's a bottle, or here's, whatever. But I was just thinking about like, food is such a thing that makes your heart feel safe.
Yes.
Right. So I love that you're using that. And on a side note, he told me like 3 times to stay in school because he wanted the best for me. He invited me to the park to hang out with him sometime, anytime I was in there. Such a kind-hearted guy.
Yeah.
But it was really cool, and I'm glad for the experience. But yeah, over the years, I've thought a lot about the power of offering somebody to the table.
Yes.
Or the figurative table or a hot dog or whatever, what that does to somebody, and how many even petty theft, not now. When people walk into Walgreens or Walmart and they steal, I have very little tolerance for that.
Oh yeah.
Right. Sure. Exactly.
Yeah. But like the kids, there's urchins on the street that like notoriously they have to steal an orange or they have to steal bread or something like that. Because they're hungry, right? And so hunger is like the base instinct for like survival. You know what I mean? So I love that.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you growing up, Len. Like what brought you to this point in life, and what have you done? What's along the way? And then we're coming back around the table. Okay. But guys, I really here's the cool thing is that through people's stories, you find hope. Hope for yourself, hope for the city, hope for people who are going through it. You know what I'm saying? Realizing that there's like, as long as somebody's breathing, there's hope for change, which is cool. Yes. And then even like Kiki said, in death is a seed. And we are like, everything in nature is seed, time, and harvest. And so like, I love that even death, like as tragic as it is a seed.
Yes.
It's a seed, and then the harvest is revealed. And so everything, every action, every act of love, every negative action is a seed.
Yes.
So, but I'm not going to keep going on and on. Okay, let's get back to you guys.
Well, basically, me coming up as a kid, I've seen a lot. Not going to tell my age right now.
Okay.
I'm a 70s baby.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot, man. I've seen a lot and been through a lot. Like I said, then seen people go through a lot. So that was one of the things that why I've done Creative Safe Zones, joined Respect, and all the other organizations that I have joined, because if I can do something about it, I really want to. I don't want to see them going. I always tell my little guys, I want you to be better than me. Mm-hmm. If I was a millionaire, I want you to be a trillionaire.
Right.
Nice.
Whatever, you know what I mean? I want you to be better than what you see other people.
I love that.
Always. I'll always tell them
Standing on your shoulders.
Yes.
Like you want them to stand on your shoulders, not just try to like, follow in your shadow or something.
Right.
So what side of town did you grow up on?
South side.
South side as well. Okay.
So
was that challenging? Was that challenging through your like teenage years? It sounds like you had a good mom.
Right. Yeah.
That's good.
Good single mother.
Good
she was a single
direction,
mother, but she made sure we had. She made sure, like I said, I wasn't like some of the unfortunate kids. I had a lot of unfortunate kids in my neighborhood, but we had a lot though.
Okay.
She taught me a lot, respect and everything like that. So I learned a lot from my mom. And
Did
that's
you ever
one of
know
the
your
reasons.
dad?
My dad passed away when I was actually 4 years old. But I know a little,
You have,
bit
like,
about
little
him,
memories.
little memories here and there. But
Okay.
yeah, my dad passed away when I was 4 years old. So, and that's another thing too. We see a lot of deaths in Youngstown, whether it's murders, a lot, especially right here in my family. I could say within myself, plus brother DC here, within the past 5 years in our personal families, we maybe lost maybe 10 people apiece.
What?
In our close families? Like, I'm just now still, no matter what, we always keep going. Some people do know. I just lost my mom.
Yes.
My mom, she fought cancer for 2 years. We're in the
Carter.
hospital with her, fighting cancer. And then, prior to that, was just in the middle of grieving. My son, he was 33 years old. He was born with sickle cell. When COVID came, basically just took him straight out. He couldn't fight. Took him straight out. So I was grieving that. I've lost cousins, aunties, all in like month to month, all back to that. So still going through all that type of stuff. So still got to keep your head up, keep going in life. Another thing where that's what I want to say. We also deal with people and children that how can I say that people really don't want to deal with.
Right.
Okay, tell us about that.
So
Call them the
especially
underdogs.
with
the
underdog. Especially
Okay.
man, our brother man Shimmy, he was good for that.
Yeah.
The children, he took the children that everybody
Nobody
like
would-
pushed
they would
away,
push
nobody
away.
wanted to deal with or anything like that. So that's excuse me, getting a little choked up myself. That's one of the things that we all personally deal with. Because we know we've been through the struggles. We know what life is about.
We was once
understand.
underdogs ourselves.
Yep. So that's what mainly.
That's the name of a movie right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we can relate to, what's going on. So that's one reason why we have a passion. You know what I'm saying? I say this all the time with people. We consider ourselves real, true frontline soldiers because we have a passion. We're not in it just for the media, for the glitz, the glamour, just
The
for
money.
name, the money.
Yeah.
None of that.
None of that. If
I
that was the
love
case,
that.
we'd
Yeah.
all be
Yeah,
rich
everything-
right now.
yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
We already been rich.
We're not getting no funding for nothing we do.
Nothing.
There are way too many people who do it for the sound bites and to
Yeah.
be seen and
Exactly.
to like, oh, I'm going to be an advocate, and really it's about them.
Right.
And then
We-
they see us think like, oh, Lynn got it now, you know what I mean? Because it's like, no, this is really his passion. It's from his heart, out of his
Yeah.
family. He's taking care of his family, but he's also coming out of his pocket to help the next kid, So this is personal. This doesn't have anything to do with any money. We
Right.
would love to have
Oh
funding.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
definitely would,
Right, right, uh-huh.
and do right by the money, though.
Right.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
This is not nothing to like pump our egos or anything like that. Like there are really kids out here that don't
There's too many
have
people,
anything.
I think, that follow the money
Yeah.
and create an organization because the money's out there right now
Exactly.
for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And as soon as those funds dry up, they'll be on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So really the nonprofits that I love to see develop and grow and be funded and find that help are the people who are doing it because it's their heart.
Yeah.
And then somebody's able to say, and maybe somebody we've been watching now is able to say, hey, my business will be able to, can fund or help and just donate into these causes. You may be in Salem, you might be in Akron, you might be in Newcastle, and just in the Youngstown Click region, and say, hey, I can't be boots on the ground in Youngstown, but I can donate. And so we're going to share all that contact information as well.
Yes.
To be able to say, hey, like these are people who are doing things. They're set up to make a difference. And I don't have to be there physically to do it, but I can still be a part of it, which is so powerful.
Yes.
So-
We need each other.
Yeah.
We do need each
We
other,
need to come
right?
together.
And I love how extensive the Youngstown Click extends. I love that. We were talking a little bit before, like about like some of the people that I get to meet and like where they're from, and even from out of the state, all over. I love that so much
Yeah, it's
because
amazing.
because Youngstown, we go like we breed people on the south side, north side, west side, Boardman, Austintown, and Struthers, Camel, like, and then we go out into the rest of the world and make such a difference because of the tenacity and the struggle that Youngstown really, you know, it seems like south side produces a lot of world changers.
Yeah, for sure.
That, like that struggle, that, you know, whatever. That's so funny. Did you guys see that they're redoing the South Side school, high school?
South High.
Yes.
South High. Yeah. So that
Yes, go
there'll be
Warriors.
something.
Go
Oh
Warriors.
man, that's great.
Hey, I'm a red man. I'm from Wilson.
Yeah, I'm Wilson
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay. That's so well. Apparently, they're planning some kind of like an all school thing, all Youngstown school thing in the front lawn once it kind of gets finished and they're
that's
ready
gonna
to
be
kind of
amazing.
whatever. So that'll be
So
cool.
glad
because
they're finally doing something with
Finally.
that.
But again,
Yes.
it's going to be so good for the neighborhood. It's going to be so good for Youngstown.
Yes.
I think it's Jubilee Homes or something like that, or
Okay.
Jubilee Development.
okay.
Great.
That's actually a part of that. So
That's what's up.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's amazing. So okay, Kiki. So you're 8 years old.
Yes.
South Side.
Yes.
Your mom and dad leave.
Yes, my mom moved to Detroit, Michigan. My dad was still currently here, but my mom was going through an drug addiction.
Okay.
And she moved to Detroit, Michigan with her father's mom.
Okay.
And her mom, my grandmother, stepped up and got custody of me and my sister.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. So you and your sister. That's
Yes.
okay.
I have 6 siblings though.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, at that time it was just me and my baby sister. We're 4 years apart. So my grandmother raised us, but when my mom moved to Detroit, she had 4 other children.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
so-
do love big families. Though.
Yeah, I
Not
went
gonna-
through, I didn't even know, I had, so I went to Michigan and I found them. And I started gaining that relationship once
Is
I
your
found
mom still
them.
alive?
Yes.
Okay, and
Yes,
she's-
clean. She's here.
Oh,
yeah, she's been here
good.
for about 13 years now, 10 or 13 years.
Wow, so she survived
Yes,
too. then.
yes. And then all of the kids, because they were in foster care, but they're all grown now. So this is the first time that we are all in the same city with our mom.
They're all here.
We're all here.
No way.
Besides the baby,
Okay.
yeah, the little baby. She's 21. She's
Okay.
a entrepreneur, go getter spirit. She literally packed up and moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
And she's doing amazing. She does hair and she's just so she's the only one that's gone right now.
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. Wow. So, man, through the struggle. So, but you're 8 years old, living with your grandma, South Side, and you were older than your sister.
Yes, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay. Okay. So, talk to us a little bit about when you kind of start getting in trouble. Was your sister also getting in trouble? Like, and kind of like heading in the right, because you said that you made a mistake or what, the consequence that ended you in prison.
Mm-hmm.
But was there small things that led up to that? Was it, just tell us a little bit about those years of your life.
So growing up, I had a great childhood. My grandmother, my grandmother was, I keep saying was like she's not here.
Oh, she's still alive?
Yes,
Oh,
thank
shout out to
God.
grandma.
Yes,
Shout out to
And
grandma.
all the
Grandma.
great
Yes,
grandmas.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Just, she's everything to me. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for her. But my grandmother, she's a feisty little tough love lady, So, she would literally, and I was the oldest. So, she taught me, responsibilities and, you always take care of your sister, because, I get a lot, me and my sister have a different bond from sisters, and everybody say, I just love y'all bond. How you're so close like that, and I didn't understand it at that time. I hated taking her everywhere with me. You know what I mean? I hated having to drag her along, but I understand what my grandmother was doing. Especially in this world. I always say if it wasn't for my sister, because I have girlfriends that don't have nobody to pick up the phone and call. It's a blessing to have siblings.
Absolutely.
That you can call and vent to or just get through hard times. And me and my sister, we did that. I don't remember a lot when I was young, but I was told that I was 5 years old, walking her to preschool, and actually picking her back up. Yeah, at 5. So I was she was always like my baby girl, you know what I mean? And they said I always had an old soul. I always acted like a little lady. Yeah.
Wow.
So, as growing up, and I'm a Leo, so I'm very overprotective, and I go to bat for my family or anyone that, I love that is close to me. So growing up, teenage years hit, that old saying, what happens in this house stays in this house, or you don't talk about, things that your mom is going through, or you don't even question it, because it was years that I didn't even know she was on drugs. I just thought that she didn't want me. She didn't want us anymore, so that grew up a anger and a rage that I didn't even know that I had. So once I hit high school and I got a whiff of different kids and different backgrounds and different things, I started aiming for the bad. Going, I like to do, I want to do that, or I want to smoke, or, you know what I mean? Just literally never was a follower. I just always wanted to I was so fearless and just thought, like, I'm going to just do it. You know what I mean? I'm going to just do it. I know I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to do it,
Yeah.
So I had that type of attitude. But, watching my grandmother, walk to work and, trying to take care of 2 grandkids. She has raised all her kids, and she was literally engaged to get married, and it was the guy made her choose, and
No way.
it was either your grandkids or me, and my grandmother chose us.
Oh my goodness.
So that right there,
Shout out to grandma again.
Yes, I love my grandmother. So that right there just taught me, family is everything, no matter what,
Wow.
and watching her, it was taking a toll on me because I wanted to help her. I didn't know how to help her, but I wanted to help her, or at least just me not be a burden. So turning to the streets, getting and, meeting different people and seeing different things. I started selling drugs at 14, maybe 15. I had this attitude of this is the drug that took my mom away. So why should I care about anybody else's families?
Really?
Yes.
Was it weed? Was it coke?
Crack cocaine.
Crack at 14?
14. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Started crack cocaine. That was the only thing, in weed and pills and different things like that. The heroin epidemic wasn't around then when I was coming up. But
on the fentanyl.
Yeah, it started it, and that's when. Actually, when I went to prison, I was done with it. I was not going to touch any type of drug. I went to prison, taking drugs into a prison.
Did you?
For a
You
guy.
got him. You actually got him into prison.
Yeah, I did it for 8 years.
What? Wait, whoa. Hold on. Oh shoot, hold on.
I'm convicted. I done my time. I can talk
yeah,
about this.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Won't be no double jeopardy here.
That's part of the story.
Wait a minute. Wait. So that's why you got caught and had to go to prison?
Yes, that led me to my incarceration.
Because you had been taking drugs.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
First love.
First of all, when I go to visit somebody in jail, which has only been a couple times, I feel like I'm watched about like everything. I don't see how people sneak stuff in.
That's what everybody was saying.
Like,
Kiki,
what
how
in the
did you
world?
do
That's
that?
like,
How did you for so long, But
wow.
Yeah, I had a run. I did. I hadn't, me and my son were very taken care of. I didn't have to work or anything, doing that. But I learned that I was being more loyal to a man than I was to myself. Because any man that truly loves you will never ever ask you to do anything like that.
Right.
But I was so big on loyalty, and I have to be loyal, but how are you loyal and you're not loyal to yourself?
Right.
But I never knew what that looked like, what it meant,
Right.
So
and I think we each have an innate need to have a family, to have somebody who loves us, and love does come with loyalty.
yes.
But to be skewed and say that loyalty is love or love is loyalty is wrong.
Is wrong.
To say, I love you, so the world can talk about you, but I will be loyal to you. That's beautiful.
Yes.
In the context, it's a part of it. But yeah, I see this, people manipulate loyalty.
Yes.
And literally I see that. Definitely. So.
And I was one of those persons that, loyalty is everything to me, So but I didn't know the true definition of it. So you can't be loyal to anybody unless you're loyal to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the lesson that I learned out of that journey of being there for that man. And also knowing that I thought that not taking away he doesn't love me, but I know that I felt that I needed that love from a man because I didn't have my dad. So I would hold on to something that in the back of my mind, I knew this wasn't right. I knew that this could take me away from my family eventually.
Yeah.
So when the time came and I ended up getting caught, well, actually told on by an inmate inside that just was jealous of him, or I don't know if he got sloppy or I don't know what happened, but I ended up they told on me, and I couldn't wrap my brain around a man telling on a woman. I was just like, this is how it goes now? Like, I don't, so, and my family, they didn't understand, because, and even him, he has life, and he wanted me to tell, just tell the truth, just say, what more can they do to me? You know what I mean? But that's where the loyalty comes in and the accountability on my end.
Oh, okay.
I know what I was doing. You didn't
it.
put a gun to my head to tell me I had to do this.
Yeah. Right.
This is the choice that I made.
Right.
So this is the consequence that I'm going to have to deal with.
Even in that phase of your life, you.
Yes. I had to explain to my family, I made that choice.
Wow, you know what? There's some CEOs that could use that lesson.
Yes. Because everybody, it's like once you get caught, it's like, oh no, it two plays a part. It's like you didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do it, but I loved the money. You know what I mean? So that was my addiction. Yeah,
especially if you felt like you were good at it and there was a system.
Right.
And then one more time or just another year, whatever. You hear all the
and the story.
Right.
We could talk, but the story leading up to that day and everything, like, because I had stopped. I had stopped. Yeah, if the prison was getting hot and everything, and I had stopped. And this particular day, he had asked me to bring something, and I was very antsy about it, but I didn't want to tell him no. And me putting everything together, getting ready and everything, the time me leaving out the door, I couldn't find it.
Oh wow!
I couldn't find it, and that was the first sign God was telling me that I overlooked.
Yep.
It's the way God has been working with me, you guys. It gives me chill bumps to talk about it, So,
yeah,
that right there, I play, after everything played out, and even still, me, what I had, I took marijuana and heroin, and they only found the marijuana.
Oh.
That's why you only got 2 years.
That's why. Yeah, because wait.
I had a mouth full of balloons.
Oh wow.
Literally. But I only spit out 4.
How? What?
And the 4 that I
like a whole different language to me. What are you what? Oh shit.
And the 4 that I spit out was the marijuana. How would that separate in my mouth like that? How would I not? So I knew God was all through that.
Yeah. Right.
All through that.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, just His grace.
There's no way that I
goodness.
wouldn't go to prison and not learn a lesson from this.
Right.
Because I could still be locked up now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Taking heroin inside of a
Right.
correctional center. It's like, what? Oh, you daredevil, you. I was just like,
Oh man.
That's when I didn't, really didn't have a conscience.
This is interesting,
then.
though. This is interesting because you say loyalty, which
Yes.
is so true. But like the sister to that is acceptance.
Yes.
The acceptance, not just even in a romantic relationship, but acceptance to say, I'm going to do something that goes outside of what it feels right for me.
Yes.
Because of acceptance, because somebody's going to thank me. Somebody's going to say I'm the best. Somebody's going to accept me and be my friend.
Yes.
It's a basic necessity. If we turn ourselves off to that and try to harden up and say we don't need that, then we're not who God made us to be.
Yes.
Right.
So it's literally so important who you put yourself around
Yes.
and who you need acceptance from, and being able to talk to somebody who might say, hey, this person might be using you. Otherwise, it is easy to get pulled in. And it's not about, oh, I'm so adventurous, I'm going to take heroin into a correction facility.
Yeah.
It's, I'm accepted. I'm good at this.
Mm-hmm.
He needs me. He relies on me. And that becomes the hierarchy. So everything underneath here, as crazy as it sounds, is just a way to get this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm kind of hearing. But you see it in all of us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That need for acceptance, which is why it's important for good people to become voices and advocates.
Yes.
Because then instead of trying to get the acceptance of gang members and drug dealers and whoever else might be trying to drag, and they might be in their own struggle, but they're also trying to drag other people into that as well. You guys are there providing a difference.
Because change is scary. Change is, it's not pretty, you know, it's not, and especially having to face yourself in the mirror. You know, a lot of people don't do mirror work.
Right.
And it's not easy, you know. I had to face demons.
Yeah.
You know, I had to face things that I've done. I've hurt people, you know, people hurt me. You know, you have to forgive yourself for, you know, hurting others or letting yourself get hurt, you know. Trying to look for acceptance, you know, you have to learn to accept yourself and know that the only acceptance that you need is from God.
Yeah.
You know, so those were all life lessons that, you know, through my journey, I needed, you know, so it was supposed to go the way it did, you know.
Yeah. You know, this is a reminder for me too. So there was a guy who actually was on our podcast. He was part of a startup doing really good. And he was 6 years clean. And then he ran into his drug dealer who, you know, one thing after another we were supposed to meet up on a Monday for some other things. And he never answered his phone. When I texted him on Sunday, on Tuesday, I heard the news that he was found dead of fentanyl because his drugs were laced. And at that point, like, I was like, you know what? Drug dealers should all be shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, because the last text message to his drug dealer was, don't kill me, man. Like, hey, I'm trusting you.
Yeah.
And then a guy gives him, you know, like fentanyl. Now, again, he shouldn't have been using drugs, right?
Right.
But he was poisoned. Fentanyl is not an overdose. It's a poisoning, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, this young guy at the cusp, you know, kind of decided to come back home, dabble around a little bit, and then gets killed, right? And so literally I was feeling some kind of way towards like drug dealers. And then the next day, this video pops up of a testimony of a former drug dealer.
Yes.
Who God got a hold of his life and completely changed. Now he gives his heart and his whole life to helping other people. He has a beautiful family and he's just literally trying to help other people in that party. He says how empty he was and shows pictures of how dead his eyes were and just how miserable he was even in the party lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it was like God convicted me because I was feeling like
because selling drugs
you know
is an addiction. Yeah, you know, that's an addiction in itself. You know, we drug dealers, and when I was selling drugs, you know, I depended on that money. You know what I mean? So, you know, you getting clean, it's like, what? You know what I mean? And that mindset was just so crazy. You know what I mean? Because that's what you want, you know? And when the heroin epidemic came, I didn't want no parts of that, you know? And I've never seen nobody OD or die off of crack cocaine. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? But the heroin was just out of my league. I have a conscience and I can't really, you know, I would really engage with these people and want to know why or how did you start or, you know, how did you get here? You know, and it was like, you can't be doing that.
So let me ask you, is there a way that people can tell when something's laced?
No. See, and that's the thing. I was getting to that. It's not the dealer's fault, especially today. You know, everything is to make a dollar off of the next person. And that means if it's going to kill you, this is why it's so scary out there to anybody that's out there still selling drugs. I pray you just literally turn your life around and go find a job or a trade or something because it's not worth it. It's so not worth it to take someone's life for $1. You know, like money is the rule of all evil. It really is today. I'm seeing that. I never knew that what that phrase meant until 2020 when all that free money hit the world.
Yeah.
It changed a lot.
It did change a lot.
You know, and you started really seeing the true colors of people, you know,
Yeah.
and how money can change them, you know, and I'm just a different person, you know what I mean? I'm happy broke. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
right.
I don't have money, so but I'm fulfilled and I'm happy. I wake
Yeah.
up every day because I know I'm going to help the next person
That's
for free. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Well,
I I go home full. You know?
And the true full thing is the love of money is the root of all evil. And so, because money is just like a brick.
Right.
You
Yeah.
could either build or you could break a window. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, literally, like, you can reach more, be more creative with
Yeah.
a few more dollars,
Yeah.
you know? But like you said, you're willing to do it for free.
Yeah.
Because sharing a hug and love is free.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if
Listen
I
to
don't,
ear,
I don't want to
free.
have to go against my integrity,
Yeah.
my character, things that I stand for, my morals and my principles, all because a bill needs paid and I'll just backdoor this person or that. I'm not built like that. You know what I mean? So I don't understand that. But this is what the world is today.
So there really is that
they're
mindset
lacing, yes, they're
of,
lacing
hey, I
everything.
gotta keep this person a customer.
Yes. Yes, to keep them coming to fulfill what they need to. You know, and that just that's what it's coming to, especially with these kids. Like, they don't even know what they're doing, but they're just out here just selling anything, you know, that just to get some money. And literally is, you know, people are losing their lives behind it.
Wow.
You know, and the drugs and the pills, you know, this generation, they're getting hot. They're
And it
so,
all comes down to
they're out of
we're
their
coming to you,
minds.
DC. But it all comes down to what you guys figured out is what happens in childhood.
Yes.
So all this that we're talking about literally is an outcry. It's the harvest
Absolutely.
of the seeds of childhood.
I got addicted to pills at the age of 15 to numb the pain, to numb, where's my mom? You know, why ain't no one is telling me what's going on, you know, no one. I don't feel the love that I'm supposed to be feeling as a child, you know. So
Yeah,
I started numbing myself, you know, and that's
did
what
you-
led me up to trying to take my life at 16.
Right.
pills?
Overdosing on pills.
What pills?
Back then they were Darvocets or something like that. I was like, Darvocets and volumes. I had stole them from my aunt. Yeah,
Wow.
she. Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. So and I battled with pills all the way up into my incarceration. Yeah.
Wow.
I had got addicted to, and I've never shared this publicly, but I got addicted to Xanax, and I was taking those, and when I went to prison, still to this day, it's a blur of things that I can't even remember from taking those pills. You know, people will tell me different things. You don't remember this, or you don't. And now I'm so aware, and I was like, no, that's when I was addicted to those Xannies. I'm sorry. You know, I'm very open with it. You know what I mean? You know, but, you know, I got introduced to it from a guy, you know, but I was doing it to numb the pain of what I was going through that nobody knew I was going through.
Right.
You know, I'm a very, like, my demeanor is very strong. And,
Well,
you know,
it's probably dangerous to be vulnerable in certain
yes.
in neighborhoods or
Yes.
environments or whatever. Because you
Yes.
either get told like, shut up, don't like keep
Yes.
your mouth shut, or
You're
it's seen as a, ooh, how do we take advantage of this? You know?
Right.
So
Yes.
that would be hard, especially
Yeah.
as a kid, to learn your desire is to share it with somebody, but everything is teaching you don't share.
Don't share
Don't
it.
share
You
it. That's
don't. Yeah,
crazy.
that's shameful, or you know. And it's like now that's why, you know, a lot of people tell me, you know, I love your vulnerability. Your vulnerability. You so open about what you've been through. You know,
Right.
because I know it's gonna touch somebody.
So and then we're coming to you, DC. When did you meet God?
My grandmother always, you know, made us pray, you know, so I knew I had a little relationship. Just, she always would say, get on your knees and pray, give it to God, you know. But as a teenager, you're hearing that and you'll say your prayers, but you don't really know what that means.
Okay.
Or how am I supposed to talk to somebody that's not here, the
Right.
spiritual person? Like, who is this person, you know?
Right.
So going to prison, and when you're in that cell by yourself and you have nobody to cry out to but God,
Wow.
And when you start seeing the spirit, the supernatural move, you know that you can't explain it unless it happens to you. You know, so
Man.
you know, you know.
Wow.
I tell everybody, you know, it's my God. That's all I can say.
Wow.
It might not work for you, but I know it worked for me.
Right.
You know, and it was God, and that was really truly submitting my life over to Him.
Come on.
Yeah, that was the best thing I could have done.
That's beautiful.
Here's the thing I wanted to say real
Yeah.
quick. And here's where the passion comes in of it. What we're telling you here, we're not just telling you like somebody told us.
Right.
We went through it.
We went through it.
We experienced it. Everything we try to go, we didn't try to stop people from doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We done been through one of us.
Yes.
We done been through something. We had experienced it. So we don't want you to go through it. Or we
Yes.
can prevent you from going. We'll sit you down,
Right.
talk to you, care. That's one, and all of our organizations, we all had that in us.
Yeah, that's our heart's passion.
And
That's the mission statement right there.
And the key word is team.
Right.
Yes.
See that's okay. This is, as you guys are talking and sitting here, I had that thought. I was like, there's a lot of organizations that I've met or been a part of. They don't want to share.
No.
They're like,
Right.
no, I won't share a platform or a table with you because it's all
Right.
about me.
Yeah,
Right.
that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's
The way
what's
that
you
wrong
guys-
with
yeah,
our.
it's that- I love
so we
this.
want to change that narrative.
Yeah.
Like
We
you
a
know,
whole team.
they're my big brothers
Yes.
that I've never had.
Yes.
You know, I've always yearned for big brothers.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't like being the oldest.
Right.
I just, it's like you know.
it's so crazy because, like, you know, before I tell my story, when I first met her,
Yeah.
I just felt like an aura with her.
Oh.
You know, sitting in the same room with her, and I said, hey, can I ask you a question? I said, do you care if I call you my little sister?
Oh, right. The
And-
first time you met her.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
you did.
And I said, yeah, you my little sister, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard her story. I seen her passion. I seen what she was about.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, yeah.
Oh,
And they
like
accepted me,
Oh,
like
yes.
because I, you know, coming home
Yeah.
from what I've been through and my
Yeah.
lifestyle, and the things I lived, like, you know, everybody, well, you changed, you know, nobody understood where, you know,
Right.
so I needed
How
to
to
find my
define you, what
tribe
box to put
of
you in.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So once I found them, and we come from the same background, you know what I mean? They're just a little older than me, you know,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I'm very inspired of anything they tell me, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I know that
Yes.
you guys been on earth just a little longer than me,
Yeah.
that I come from that era that I listened,
Yeah.
you know, to older elders. You know, elders are everything, you know, so
Yeah.
that's anything they told me, you know, and they gave me the courage to, like, you know, really have a voice.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to get out there, like, and I did all that with them first.
Oh, yeah.
Shimmy, I love him so much. I told him, he threw me out there on TV. It was just the first,
like, yeah.
I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I just was telling you what I wanted to do.
Right.
And he, you know,
Like,
and
all
ever,
right, come
yeah.
on, let's go.
Yes,
Yep.
ever since then, it was just, you know, it gave me more. I started believing more in myself, you know, that I can do this. You know, anything
Yeah.
you put your mind to, you can do. So, you know, I started being on the news. I do radio. You know, it just started coming more and more and more. You know, and I love to hear, oh wow, Kiki, man, I just love what you said, or I'm happy you shared your story. That helped me. You know, so that's my mission right there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because I know that everybody don't have no one to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, mental health is so real,
Yes.
especially today,
Yes.
you know, and I don't care about being looked
Yeah.
at. I tell people, I'm going to cry.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to yell.
Yep.
I'm going to put myself out there.
Yep.
I don't care how you feel,
Right.
because my feelings are valid. You know, I'm a human too, and you are too. And we need to be heard about certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you need to create that safe space. And once they created that safe space for me, because I was the youngest in the room, you know. I was the youngest. I was their
love
little
it.
baby, you know. So, and they
I love it.
protected me, and they showed me. And even after we, you know, separated from BFO, when we, you know, it stopped, you know, because it was just a lot, you know, trying to do everything outside of what we were doing. But, you know, they still keep in touch with me. They still check on me.
That's
you know
cool.
what I mean? Make sure I'm okay. So
Yeah.
I've never had that, you know. So to get that going on 40, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
This
I love these
this
guys.
our little sister for life. Man.
Yes, I love these guys. You know,
that's
and
beautiful. That
Yes,
is beautiful.
yes, Shimmy and all. Yeah, they love me like a sister, and it's true, genuine love that I know that they got my best interest at heart. They believe in my passion and will do anything to help me get there.
Isn't it something that money doesn't bring joy? Success, titles, they don't bring joy. Relationships.
Yes,
exactly.
I totally agree.
Brings joy.
Exactly.
Yes.
In fact, when they studied joy, they broke it down as basic as they could, because people were like, well, joy is happiness, is a feeling. What is joy? And they broke it down to the most base definition that you could possibly get. Okay? And it's so simple and it's so beautiful. The most basic definition of joy is knowing that somebody is happy to see you.
Wow. Yes.
So simple.
Yes.
When you have a baby and that baby can't talk, they can't put together a logical sentence or logical thought. There's they didn't deserve, they didn't earn anything.
All right.
And the mom or the dad or anybody is looking down at that baby, smiling. Oh, so happy to see him. The baby feels joy and
Yes.
smiles back.
Right.
Yes.
And then in the end of your life, how do you want to go? Surrounded by people who are happy that you were here, happy to see you, happy to be with you. And somehow in the middle, it's like society is set up to have taken that away, stripped that away. You go to school, the teachers aren't happy to be there. Mm-hmm. You're not happy to be there. Multi-generational relationships. We multi-generational relationships are actually a key component to, they've studied groups where joy is like very high, and multi-generational relationships are a key component. Mm-hmm. Not just being friends with your peers, it's being friends with grandparents and youth and all this stuff. There's that. And then an Emmanuel lifestyle, which is like acknowledgement and living in the presence of God. That's a key component. They broke it down. It's a fascinating study. But literally knowing that somebody, so when these kids come in and you're happy to see them, that might be a spark of joy that they've not experienced that entire week or up until that point. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I experienced that working inside the schools, and I seen that first hand. And like Lynn said, like, some kids don't get a meal but that lunch. Right. You know what I mean? And the schools would say, oh, they can't get second lunches or third lunches. Well, I was that one in the kitchen taking the extra lunches, and the lunch aide's getting mad at me, ma'am. You didn't buy these lunches. I'm sorry. They're free, and these kids are hungry. Right. So
come on.
So, and that's what led me up to starting the Jumping Through Adversity jump rope program I started for the youth.
So he mentioned jump rope. Okay.
Yeah.
After we hear DC's story, now this one's going a little bit longer because there's 3 and a lot to talk about. But we're gonna go to DC, and then I want you to tell each one of you how to connect with you, how to follow you, how to be a part of the organization. Then we'll get your last and final 3 of your favorite spots or other places or people that you would like to shout out for the clique to kind of check out as well. So DC, tell us a little bit about what you've come through.
Oh man.
Gotta go back.
I'm a child of 9.
9.
Yes.
Wow.
I grew up on the east side, south side. I was a child of children's services. I grew up in children's services board from a young kid. I overdosed at 9, from hunger.
Overdosed on what?
Pills. I don't know my mom's story, her background, but I do know now, today, that I'm older. She definitely had a mental problem. And guys used to take advantage of her because of that. So, like the system I grew up in of CSB, I was in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out from the time I was a baby all the way till I was 18.
My goodness. So theoretically, you shouldn't be sitting in that chair right now.
Not at all. I OD'd.
What a blessing.
Beat the odds.
I OD'd at 9, almost died. I was going to Madison Elementary School, and my mom thought I was playing hooky, like I didn't want to go to school. Well, the day before that, I was on the playground. I had no bottoms in my shoes.
My.
All right, bro.
I was on the playground, and all the kids were playing, and I was playing, and they said, "Are you okay, D? Are you okay, D?" And it was so hot on the concrete, I would literally have to go sit down for a minute so my feet can cool off. But I would hide away from the other kids to keep them from seeing the fact that I had no soles in my shoes. I had no bottom in my shoes. So I got up after a while, and then I started playing again. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, my feet is out. You know what I'm saying? Whoever sees it, sees it. So the guidance counselor, she came up to me. She says, oh, my God, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. She says, you have no bottom in your shoes. How are you walking around like that? So that night I went home, and I knew my mom was going to be in trouble. I knew she was going to be in trouble for that.
Really? For letting people see your shoes?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that night, I told her I was hungry, and she was sitting there. She had a gambling problem also when I was young. Like, it was all about gambling, all about kicking it with her friends. But yet, I'm telling her I'm hungry. All right, I'll be done in an hour.
Oh.
Okay, cool. So I sat there and I, just waited and waited and waited. No food ever happened. So she said, well, go in the refrigerator. There's nothing in the refrigerator but a block of cheese. I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'm tired of eating cheese.
Right.
My baby's, one of my younger sisters, she had like a lot of illnesses when she was born. So these pills were sitting on the table in the living room, and I grabbed them. And I said, oh, well, it ain't gonna hurt anything. Because I'm young.
Yeah, right.
I'm young. Mm-hmm. So I went and took the bottle in the kitchen as they sitting in the dining room playing cards. I took these pills. I went and laid down.
Yeah.
The next day, my mom woke me up for school. I couldn't even dress. I couldn't even talk. Nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
She was like, oh, you going to school. You going to school. You're going to school.
She thought you were faking it?
She thought I was faking it.
Oh,
because she didn't know.
Yeah.
So I'm on a bus on my way to school. I'm dying on the bus.
Oh, my.
The principal came out and was like, call 911, call 911, call 911. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Because I was so young. But if they would have never saved me in a 10-minute period that they did, I wouldn't be here right now.
Wow.
At
Within
all.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So the bus driver must have noticed how you were acting.
Right.
And then called ahead. Oh, my goodness.
I was in intensive care for like about 6 months. And then
6 months.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah. I was in the hospital
Wow.
for a long time. And then when they released me, they put me in the depression unit up there at Northside Hospital as a kid.
Okay.
I couldn't have shoes. I mean, I couldn't have like nothing with laces in it, none of that stuff. I was young. I was a young kid. Well, when that happened to me, my mom came in the room to see me when I was a young kid. And my nurse, her name was Diana. I will never forget that woman. She was really there for me.
Aww.
So when my mom walked in the room, I turned my back to her. I didn't want to see her. So I told my nurse, I said, can you please get her out of here?
At 9 years old.
I said, I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her.
Pain.
And then after that, like, I just went through children's services. And then like about 12, my father, you know, he stepped up. He came and got me.
Wow.
But it was like, I didn't know this man. I didn't know him.
And you're 12. That's like pre-puberty.
Right.
You're about to like go into teenage years.
Right. I was with a lady. She was a pastor, actually. Her name was Christina something on the east side on Truesdale.
Oh, okay.
She took me in because I was always running. That's why I was in like 20 different foster homes.
Yeah. Okay. You were running. Mhm.
I was running away.
They say that happens because the kid is inevitably looking to go home.
Right.
To say, I can't fit in here because there's something.
Right.
Yeah.
I ran away from 20 different foster homes around Youngstown. So eventually they got tired of me running out here because I knew my area.
Okay.
They sent me to Alliance.
Okay.
I ain't know nobody out there.
Right. Right.
So the dude, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is with children. I mean, salute children's services, you know what I'm saying? Because they did save a lot of kids.
Okay.
But sometimes they don't do background checks on people. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, the guy, he was a weirdo.
No, in Alliance.
He was a weirdo. Like,
How do you know?
I was sitting on the couch the one
I
day.
know.
I was sitting on the couch the one day, and he just, you know, he just did this energy towards me. And I'm like, whoa, hold up, bro. What is this man on? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, well, you know, I have control of you. You have, what, huh? You have control of what? You ain't got control over me, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Not me.
Right.
You got the wrong one. So when I felt
man.
that type of energy, I got up and I ran up out that door.
Okay.
I ran and I said, you know, I got to get a hold of my caseworker, man,
Yeah.
because something wrong with this man. Like, this is weird stuff
Yeah.
right here, dude.
Yeah.
So she brought me back to Youngstown. And she's like, Derek, come on. You got to help me here. I can't keep placing you places.
Yeah.
You got to help me.
Right.
What
But
can I
thankfully she
do?
believes you.
Right. I said,
Gotta-
she's like, what can I do? Every time I put you somewhere, you run.
Yeah.
You run. Are you done running yet?
Right.
But she's not understanding why
But-
you're running.
But she didn't understand why I was running.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, at 16 years old, I left my dad's house. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
the abuse was real. I'm talking about, I was in the basement. He would lock us, me and my brother and my sister, in the basement. Locks on the refrigerators, cabinets, like, so basically, I never seen prison because my life was a prison. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just wasn't around a bunch of men, but my life was a prison inside my home. Like, I used to have to get up and I would do, like, anytime he felt like he wanted to make us do, like, you know, different exercises, he would do it. If he wanted us to do 1,000 knee bends, we had to do it. Push-ups.
What?
Jumps, anything.
How is that even possible?
It was like a military, and he wasn't even in the military, though. But that was his thing, though. That's how he used to do us. So
His self-control.
it was his self-control. That.
Oh my.
So at 16,
And no love.
no love. I felt no love. I got into this loving kids stuff when I was young, when I was like 15.
Okay.
There was a place called Clarence Robinson Center
Okay.
on the south side.
Oh, really?
I used to go down there and volunteer and make sure the kids had lunches.
What?
Yes, at
So
15.
even in your pain and
Yes.
dysfunction. Wow.
So I used to go down there, help them. And then after that, I was, you know, taken from my home because of the abuse. and I was in the boys' home. I was in the Swanson home over here on the north side.
Wow.
So I had a lot of mentors around me.
Okay.
You know, I had the likes of Oscar Murphy, James Dobbs, Mr. Lake, Mr. Quayle, everybody,
Wow.
Mr. Rainwright. They all like inspired me by the men they were.
Wow.
And caring about us as young men and ladies that didn't have nothing, and we came from abuse. So they showed us that, hey, anything you want to do, put your mind to it,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, even though I went through everything I went through, you know what I'm saying? Most kids that go through stuff like that, they don't graduate. They don't have no passion to graduate. I decided that, okay, my mother and my father didn't graduate. So I'm going to be the one to walk across that stage.
Wow.
And in
Break that
1993,
generational curse.
right,
Yeah.
in 1993, I walked across that stage
Come on.
of Wilson. You know what I'm saying? So,
Wow. Man, so you had that tenacity to fight.
Yes.
I think, you know what? So many kids who get in trouble have that
Right.
tenacity to fight.
Right.
But it's skewed. It goes the wrong direction.
Right. Yeah.
But put towards fighting generational things,
Right.
fighting,
Yes.
you know, the odds.
Beating
They
the odds.
could,
Yes.
Right.
because there's that tenacity.
Yes.
That, hey, I haven't given up yet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
but yeah, that's basically like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why all our stories, you know, we went through our thing, but at the end of the day, we took it as a lesson
Yeah.
in order to teach others.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you can come over anything that you want to.
Yeah.
And it come from
You know what I'm
any
saying?
walks of life.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
As a-
that's so beautiful.
As a kid, you can't control what happened as a kid. But as an adult, yeah. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's all about you. It's all about how you carry yourself. It's all about if your parents wasn't no good and you was around a bunch of adults that wasn't no good, now you got to turn
That around.
that around yourself.
And you need it. You need a picture.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
they say that if you're driving a motorcycle and you see a pothole in the road and you have the entire road, but you're looking at that pothole like, okay, I can't hit that pothole, you'll hit that pothole because you go towards what your eyes are looking at.
Exactly.
Right.
And so it's interesting because these men who became kind of like voices of mentorship gave you something to say, hey, I can go towards that. That's the beauty of a picture
Right.
of to say that things could be different, things can be different, neighborhoods could look different. That's hard because we view with our eyes and we think that is what it is. But everybody will say imagination and what's unseen is way more powerful than what can be seen. You know, one of my favorite Bible verses is Hebrews 11:6. Hebrews 11:1 is, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
I've seen.
Right?
Yes.
It comes, your desire comes before it can be seen.
Right.
Right? I love
And
that.
then you walk by faith and not by sight.
And not by, not by sight, right?
Right.
Wow. So that's why when you share your story with these kids, do all of you guys do like public speaking engagements?
I do.
Okay, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always
Okay,
on
so
live.
if somebody does want you to come talk to an organization or a group of kids,
Yes.
schools or whatever, you guys are all up for that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Because like you said,
Definitely.
having been through it and kind of having that credibility, you're
Yeah.
not just saying, hey, like I could give a motivational talk, like, because I have a passion,
No,
but
we
I
been
haven't
through
been
it.
through
You gotta go
what
through
they're
it.
going. You know what I mean?
I always
Used
say
to
it's like,
and
what
thankfully-
more
thankfully,
lesson
I'm not-
is
I-
better than the experience?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
What better lesson in life is
the
instead of
experience.
coming from the experience? You know,
Exactly.
you
But there's
need-
a lot of people who let the experiences skew them. And so
Yeah.
then they justify and say, well, kids, I was like that when I was a kid. So they justify how kids can be instead of trying to help steer them in the right direction.
Yeah. I
And
was
when I
gonna
see
say-
that, I'm like, it's not the same world you grew up in.
Yes,
And
it's
they're
a
not
whole
you.
different time.
So teach them a little bit about my uncle. I had an uncle who was, we'll just say he worked with the mob. And he had a specialty.
Okay.
And so he was he would do what need done, and he didn't. He was not always the nicest person if he didn't get his way, right? But he was connected and stuff like that. So I didn't really get to know him. He was funny and engaging, and he could get anybody to like him. But anyway, so in his 70s, him and I took our first road trip together. And, and so I got to actually know him a little bit more in that context. And he said something to me that shocked me, because my whole life I've grown up knowing how he is. And this trip needed to happen because he didn't want to go by himself. And so I was picked to go on the road trip with him, right? And so he said, I wish that somebody would have taken me aside at 16 and said, this is not the way to do life. This is not how you treat women. This is not how to do things. And then he thought, and he was like, I probably would have punched him in the face. He said, but at least somebody would have tried.
Yes.
Right.
Now, here's this guy who's successful in the criminal world, who's like saying, I wish somebody at 16 would have cared enough to say, hey, this is not the way to do life. But people think, oh, well, he knows. They don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't want to hear what adults have to say.
And
don't ever underestimate. If you have something good to say it.
Yes.
Right.
Regardless of their momentary reaction. Right. You know what I mean?
And that's what's going on with this generation right now.
Yeah.
You know, my era, their era, it's just like, oh, they're not going to listen. They too far gone, or you know what I mean? They're a kid. They're broken kids.
They are.
Well,
we've been told though by this Nickelodeon
so it's
culture
like
that kids are smart enough without us.
Right.
Kids will figure it out. They'll figure it out. They'll, whatever. Or, it's okay to. It's good to question. They'll figure it out.
They still need the guidance.
They
still
need love. That's the key word.
And understanding.
And if you don't know the answers, help them find the answers.
Yes.
Don't just leave them out there, because somebody will come and give them answers.
Oh, yes.
And then you're going to cry and be like, well, I don't know what happened.
Yes.
Right.
Or always comparing, what the childhood we had, or the era we grew up in. Like
It's
you said, it's a
different.
different time.
It's a totally
and
different era.
what I've learned with my 19-year-old son, that I had to sit down and understand, this time. You know what I mean? Because no matter what I'm installing in him, I still have to understand how he feels.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How he how he's looking at things.
Yeah.
I lost my nephew in 2021 to gun violence. Was his big cousin, his idol, So watching my son have to go through an adult situation, to endure pain like that,
Right.
and in depression and everything. Almost, he was a junior in high school, you know what I mean? But to still push through and graduate, and that's a lot, And
Was that here? Was that local?
Yes, 2021 on South Avenue. My nephew got killed.
Man.
Yeah, getting gas or something. Yeah.
At the Shell?
No, it's on Avondale.
Alleys.
The old alleys. Yeah,
the old
that
alleys.
store. Yeah.
Man.
So watching, and I did everything in my power to the lifestyle that I lived. I never let my son see anything, or bring it around or anything. Right. So, and it doesn't matter, how you raise your kid up, or how you keep them away from things, or keep them sheltered.
No, right. Mm-hmm.
Right. I had to literally sit down at that age and literally talk to him about how to prepare him for the streets. Yeah. You know what I mean? And how to move in the streets, because we were getting threats. I didn't know if my son was next, just because he was kin to my nephew, it just was a lot, and watching my son be depressed like that, and nothing a mom can do, so I had to really understand this generation, and really, what are they crying out for?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's love.
Yeah. Love.
Yep.
It's the lack of love.
That's what they all say to us.
They
tonight.
just want to feel love.
And heard
And that's
love.
why my son is 19. Parenting did not stop for me. it just begun again, you know, because he's becoming a young man without a father figure. And, you know, I can just give him the best advice and tools that I can, but at the same time, he still has to find his way. And it's scary in this environment. You know,
absolutely.
It's so scary.
So scary, and it does require faith and trust. That's
Yes,
for sure.
yes.
All right, so we are rounding this up. Man, this is so good. And I honestly, the stories, the hope, the motivation, but also the things that you guys have found out. Sometimes, like I said, we overcomplicate things, and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You know, I shared a story with Youngstown Click a while back that my mom was a single mom. She was a hard worker going back to college, and she would sometimes at a stop light, she'd say, "Wake me up when it's green," or "Tell me when it's green." She would just have to close her eyes, and we'd say, "It's green," you know, and she'd, you know, but just because she was so exhausted, but she pushed through, and it was amazing. But she said that there was one encounter that she said she was just tired, she was weary, she was overwhelmed, and she went into a local grocery store, and she said as she was walking in, this older lady was walking out and just looked at her and smiled. And she said her whole everything changed. It was like that smile cut through everything that she had been feeling, going through, and the weariness. Just because an old lady who a lot of times senior citizens feel like, oh, what good can I do? Or what, this elderly lady who didn't know her from Adam looked at her and smiled at her. And my mom is, she's like a fighter. She's so strong. She's not like, I hate to say like basically she's not real somebody smiled. You know, like she's, let's get this done. No nonsense. Don't talk about things unless it has a meaning, you know. So for her to say that a smile cut through all this, what she was going through, I will never forget that. Because the power of a smile is love. I mean, just so much. Oh, Jesus. So, okay, well, let's finish this up by sharing some of, so real quick, what we'll do is just share you any kind of hashtags or any way that people can connect with your personal brand. And then 3 of your favorite local places that you just want to shout out, or organizations that you think need exposure, or whatever. 3 suggestions, recommendations to Youngstown Click to open their world a little bit bigger and be more connected.
Okay, once again, my name is Leonard Carter. My organizations are Youngstown Safe Zone, Promise Community. We do have a Beat the Streets program. We have a summer camp. We have a food pantry. We have a diaper bank.
Oh, wow.
Our office is in 496 Glenwood, which is the Mill Creek Community Center, Suite 105.
Nice.
My phone number is 330-531-5294. And
Facebook.
Oh yeah, Lynn Carter on Facebook. Youngstown Safe Zones on Facebook. Promise Community on Facebook.
Very nice.
My 3 favorite places. Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to it's Juneteenth weekend.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm also on that committee. We just had our little ball yesterday. We have different celebrations that's on the Juneteenth page. Different things. We have skating coming up. We do have a big festival
Yeah, the
for the
Skate and
kids.
Cabaret. Is that a free event?
Yes.
Okay, and how are they doing skate down at the amphitheater?
I'm
skating
kind of
around?
surprised myself. I'm waiting to see how the outcome is, but they're gonna.
So
do
you
their
bring a
thing.
pair of
They're gonna-
skates? Is that
they
what you
actually
do?
The skates are being funded also.
What? They're being
wow.
provided?
Wow.
It's from
Amazing. I
should show up.
3. It's actually from 3 to 9. 3 o'clock is for the children, and then 9 o'clock is for the adults and everything. So
They
I'm looking
must
forward
be-
to the. Like I want to be
'Cause
surprised
that's
on that one.
slant,
So
people will be like,
I don't know how they're
Down
gonna
the
do
hill.
it, but I'm kind of shocked myself and waiting to see how they're
I
gonna
love
do
the
it.
creativity
Yeah.
of it. I just had so many questions.
Right, it's
Real
gonna be
quick,
some
before
fun.
we go further, then, can you explain, there are a lot of people who don't, or kind of, they're not quite sure what Juneteenth is. Can you explain, like in 30 seconds, what Juneteenth is celebrating or all about?
It's actually when the slaves were first actually freed. I can't right now. The date
The
was
Emancipation
actually
Proclamation.
Yeah, 14. I forgot the actual
Okay.
date though. I should know that though. Being
That's
on
a-
that, but
yeah.
a lot on my mind, a lot going on tonight. But it's actually when the slaves were actually freed.
Okay, so it's from what somebody told me is there was the Emancipation Proclamation, which made the slaves free.
Right.
But then there was a separate date, which is when they found out
Right.
that they were free. So Juneteenth is celebrating them finding out, like the word getting to them that they were free.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So really,
we-
it's a celebration of freedom.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So it is a
love it.
Juneteenth page on Facebook if you want to look at it because there's different things going on. We started out June 1st by community cleanups. We did the Market Street corridor. Actually, this year we did something different. We usually started out with the Market Street corridor, but this year we had different little teams set up on each side of town. So each side of town at one time got cleaned up a little bit on June 1st and things like
Nice,
that.
okay.
Then we collaborated and met up.
I love
got
it.
some food together again.
Come on.
Yep. So then like I said, we just had our ball. The big celebrations are coming up this weekend. We have the Kids Festival. We're having fireworks this year. We're having a soul food cook-off.
Yes, I did see that too.
Yep. And we're
Yeah,
also having
it's
a
gonna be
big
amazing.
car show.
How's that
I
cook-off? Like
host.
you pay entry and then you get to try different things, or do you have to? Is
Yeah,
it like
if
vendors?
you go on the
and-
page or you go there, you buy tickets and that you go off tickets. You buy tickets and the people that are in there, you get to get a little meal of what they get,
Oh,
little
okay,
taste
okay,
of
so you
things
get to
and
pick-
like tickets and yep.
I need some mac and cheese.
Yes.
And then we're ending, like I said, that day. Been hosting a big car show, so we're ending it with a car show that day also too.
Okay, and what day is that?
That's Sunday the 23rd.
Sunday the 23rd. Okay,
Yep.
and you get tickets ahead of time, or you can
No,
get them there.
that's free. All the events is free.
Yeah,
But
it's
if
all
you go in there, you just need the tickets for
for the soul food
participate for the soul food
cook-off.
cook. But everything free,
Okay.
carnival rides free. We
and
have
everybody's
talent show.
invited, regardless of like
Right.
color or
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
Everybody's
Just
welcome.
Everybody
just
can
making
come.
sure that's
Right.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, everybody's welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that's one of my favorite places.
Love it. Okay, yeah. All right, love it.
Make
love
sure, because we're trying to get that. Every year it gets bigger and better and bigger and
Yeah.
better. So make sure you guys come on down to support the Juneteenth.
Yes.
Yes.
Second place, I guess I would say my center.
it. Your center.
Yep.
Okay. Safe zones on Glenwood.
Safe zones, yep. Community center. We take all children. Like I said, come down. We help you out. We do have a food pantry. We have a diaper bank. We have
That
a gym.
diaper bank is good.
Yeah, we have a gym. So once again, that's 496 Glenwood, Suites 105. Safe zone of Promise Community. So that's my second place.
Mm-hmm.
And my third place would be Youngstown.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown, let's
Come
go.
on, let's go.
We get a bad name, but trust me, man, we're great, man. We have so much talent.
So much great.
So much
potential
talent,
here.
so many great people.
Come
You know what I
on.
mean? We got to take that nasty taste out, that
Yeah.
bad name out, and that's one thing that we're going to do.
Yeah.
If it's up to us, we're going to do that.
Love
Absolutely.
it. Love it. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kiki, you had some time to think about this.
Yeah. Okay.
So share your socials or your credentials.
Yes, so I'm on Facebook as Carshara Rare Soul Bradley, and I'm on Instagram also as Rare Soul 817. You can find me on both of those sites. I work at United Returning Citizens right here on 611 Belmont. We're on the side we're in the Coleman's building. And our information is 234-855-0000.
Okay, real quick. United Returning Citizens, just a synopsis. They help people who are getting out of the prison or justice
Yes,
system.
we help you back into self-sufficiency to help you get back on your feet. We also have free clothes we give to the homeless. We also have a summer youth program for the kids. We have there all summer, just teaching them different things of personal development and different things, entrepreneurship. And also I started a Double Dutch program called Jumping Through Adversity. It's a summer program. I go in through the schools throughout the year, and then the summer program starts July 1st up until the end of August. And that's just teaching you the basics of jump roping and the power of jump roping and what it does for the body and the heart, So I also, I juice. I do a lot of juicing, teaching people about, the fruit of juice, vegetables and fruit of how powerful juicing is for your body and, the benefits of it, So I started doing that also.
Nice.
I will be at Juneteenth also for doing Double Dutch and also trying to get the juicing out a little bit more. I just started it, but I want to, push all the way through with it.
And how could they find you for that specific stuff?
On Facebook. Facebook and Instagram, you can inbox me, Carshara Bradley or Rare Soul 817 on Instagram.
So Rare Soul, R-A-R-E.
Yes, Soul.
Okay, Rare
817.
Soul.
Yeah.
Okay, and spell Carshara.
Carshara.
Oh, see, I would have said a K. Okay,
Yeah,
so, okay.
and
So,
that
Carshara,
a lot of
okay.
people think that because of Kiki.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They named me Kiki because nobody can pronounce Carshara.
Okay.
So,
All right, and
yes.
3 of your favorite local places? I mean, it could be anywhere in the region between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. That's the Youngstown Click region.
The Avalon and that is in Niles, I want to say.
Oh, okay. The golf course.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
that. It's a very peaceful place. The park. I love to go to the waterfall.
Oh, Mill Creek Park?
Yes.
Okay.
And one more. I actually like this new restaurant they built down here, the Octave.
Oh, the Octave.
Yeah,
Yes.
Octave. I love
I had one
the
of their
energy and the vibes in there. Okay. Yeah, I love that. So I would say those 3. I really don't do much. My favorite place is home. The space.
Oh, you know what? That happens. It seems like a lot of people who used to be out in the street or never had a real stable environment, once they get it, that is their spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was one of those. I was a road runner, always out. But now I'm always home. That's my safe space.
Oh,
So.
sweet home. Thankful for it.
Yes.
All right. What about you, DC?
I'm DC Henderson. I go by Kachino Henderson on Facebook. I'm the voice, basically. I have my group page up. I'm definitely gonna do another one, and you could also get a hold of me on Instagram under DC Henderson as well. Like I said, my mission is the same as them. Just do the work.
And you do like live sometimes,
Yes,
and talk about things that are happening in the city and kind of giving your thoughts on it and stuff. So too. So if you are like curious about what's happening, or like just some thoughts on it, you do those too on your personal page.
Yes, it's my personal page.
Kachino Henderson.
Yep, Kachino Henderson.
Okay, 3 of your.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, 1 park. Love the park. Gotta have my headphones on. Music. I'm a music person. I love music. It's so good for the soul.
Yeah.
I like the Penguin
Which one?
down here.
Penguin City.
Penguin
Yeah,
City.
that
Penguin
is a
City.
nice
Penguin
spot
City.
too.
The
Yeah.
nice spot, man.
You said the Penguin. I was like,
Penguin City is a nice. At first I was kind of skeptic about it, but then I went there a couple times, and
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
nice down
okay,
there.
this is nice. And hey, like Lynn said, Youngstown. You know what I'm saying? Youngstown, Ohio. Like, we the bread of Youngstown. Like, we done been through things, we done learned, and now we on a mission. You know what I'm saying? And my last thing is, and we both, all of us, getting choked up with this one, but I just want to say salute to Shimmy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, we just appreciate everything this man did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was there. Like,
So happy to be a part of it. Meeting him on this journey.
Yep.
It's amazing.
did any of you guys talk to him today? When's the last time you had spoken to him?
I had seen him the day before. We were at the movie premiere together.
And the last time I seen him was at the Hope Conference at the Cavelli.
Okay, at the Cavelli Center.
Yes.
and I seen him the night of my birthday, which was back in February.
Oh wow.
And at that time, I had just found out that my aunt, was transitioning on my birthday.
Oh, okay.
So I went to go see her, and then I went down to this one spot that we all used to go to, 221 up on Mahoning Avenue. And I never thought that would
Be the last time you'd see him.
Yeah, I ever get that phone call, I thought that was being pranked.
Right.
I didn't that's not a phone call you would expect,
No.
especially a senseless murder like that.
Right.
Right. Right.
So it was very came out of nowhere. You know, none of us expected that. None of us wanted to believe it.
No.
You know.
So I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I know we're going a little long here. We got 10 more minutes to wrap it up. But and we don't even need to take that. But just, this is a little bit of a tricky question. So I'm going to put it out there, okay? If you had to talk right now to the person responsible for his death, what would you say to them?
Honestly, like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, you took something that you took someone away that was like really making a change out here in our city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just not cool.
So
I would I'm very just like spiritual with it, and learning to understand death. The thing I would say to them is I'll have mercy and I'll pray for them.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. They don't even understand what they've done. But God will show them eventually, you know. You just can't take people's lives. And a person that, you know, that was living a life on the right track and trying to do everything the right way, being at the odds that is up against us already, you know, you will never, they will never live a full life. That I can honestly say that God will handle it. He'll take care of it. And I just feel like Shimmy won't want us to be sad.
Right.
He will want us to continue what we started.
Right.
So I just feel like, you know, we're going to continue to fight the good fight. But for those that, you know, made our lives in shambles for a little second, we're going to prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was basically going to say the same thing. It's not really up to us personally to judge.
Right.
But I will say I do have faith that our Creator will, and He's going to handle it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's good.
He was a man of God.
Yeah.
You know,
We know He made the change.
He
We
didn't
know
miss
He
us.
believed.
Yes.
So
He
Yeah.
went to church
That's all
every
that
Sunday.
matters.
He didn't miss a Sunday, you know. So
There.
God is going to.
So I'm going to add to that, especially after the conversation that we had. So I'm just going to say that regardless of what you're feeling right now or the details behind it or what you felt before you did it, after you did it, there is redemption for you. And it's in your hands to change. It's in your hands to choose a different way. And regardless, maybe we're not even talking to the person who pulled the trigger. Maybe it's somebody watching that has done something that they've felt remorse about or rejection about or whatever it may be. Like the chance and the choice to change is in your hands. And there's redemption and there's a story on the other side of where you're at right now. So just remember that. Make the first step. Look up. And yeah, that's, I guess, the message. You know, just fresh on my mind after listening to you guys and seeing the change on the other side of some bad decisions.
Yes.
You know?
One little piece of kindness, like in a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that can change someone's life. You know, so. You know, once I got the feel of the positive side, I was always a negative person, you know, in a negative environment. But the positivity is amazing over here. It's like,
you
you
guys,
guys
I
got to
know,
come
you
over
guys
here
are
and
all
try
smart.
over here. Yeah, it's like, come
Exactly.
over here.
Exactly,
It is amazing over
exactly.
here.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yes, I
So-
just thank you so much for having us.
Oh my goodness,
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Thank you guys all for taking the time to share very vulnerable stories.
Yes.
Excuse me. Beyond this conversation, you guys are putting in the work to influence and affect lives that affect us all. Because every kid affected, every adult affected affects the city, and this is all
Right.
our city and the region we love. And affecting a child's life may keep somebody we love safe because they're not going to take a road towards violence and destruction and stuff. So just, thank you all for doing what you do.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to talk to us today.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for having
yes.
us.
Thank you so much, man.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
Yes.
And Youngstown Click, I hope you enjoyed meeting these guys. Definitely reach out, connect to them. If at all you would like to volunteer or donate or take a part of it, please reach out to them. So yeah,
Truly
they're just-
appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely.
Anything will help. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And as always, and kind of like they've said it numerous times, the people in this region are the best asset, the best part of what makes Youngstown Click. You are the best part of what makes Youngstown Click. You are the link in a strong chain of connection, community, greatness. So don't ever underestimate what you have to give, what you have to offer. Thank you for being part of Youngstown Click. I look forward to meeting you somewhere out and about. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And until next time, we will talk to you later. All right, see you later.
Bye.
Peace.